I think on the first trip we must have discussed the concept and what I was going to do, and I can't remember if they specified, I suspect they specified a futuristic tennis game, and I came up with the idea of this floating court. And I'd always noticed tennis courts at night, which I thought looked rather interesting, because one normally thinks of tennis as being played in the daytime under bright sunshine, and I've always thought floodlit tennis courts looked a bit futuristic. So obviously I decided to have a night seat with the city behind, and you know, all the lit up buildings, because you know, a cityscape would look very dramatic. So that's obviously the idea of the city behind like that. And then I suppose it emphasises, you don't actually think these things out as matter-of-factly or analytically as this, but I suppose as well I was thinking of everything just fell into place. You have an overall concept, like even when I'm doing this drawing, you vaguely know what you're going to be doing a drawing of, and then you don't really think about it, and it all just falls into place. So obviously with all my travels and looking at cities and things, it would have been very easy just painting the cityscape. I've always been, prior to that of course, I've been in Los Angeles for some period of time, and I used to love looking down from the hills where I was staying to the city, spread out literally like a complete carpet of light. There was just, you know, you couldn't believe the light. And when you flew into Los Angeles, every single street, or boulevard as I think they call them, was outlined by the traffic lights of the cars. I mean, all the boulevards were just solid avenues of travelling light. And that would have come into the painting. So I think the lighting and everything, you know, obviously the crowd is dark, so the tennis court must be underlit. So everything would just automatically fall into place, I think. So I'm just adding a bit of landscape now to get this car, and it's obviously a very big meaty thing, so it could almost certainly travel from one planet to another. It's a bit like a big version of a modern private yacht, really, more than a car, because after all, if your vehicles can float, you're not particularly bound to be limited by size, so you might quite like to have something quite big. It might quite do you.
But would you ever like to live in one of these futuristic places?
Yeah, I'd like to be at the top of one of those towers, I think. Yes, I think I'd rather enjoy being up in the penthouse there somewhere. I think that would be rather fun. Yes, I would enjoy that.
But not all the time.
No, no. And also you would go to it on a floater. You wouldn't travel on the ground or anything. Well, there, my love. How's that?
Lovely.
There.
That's great.
Yeah, nice big. I'd love to be in one of these things. Are you still filming? Yeah, I'd love to have something like this and be able to travel quite long distances, you know, with a big deck at the top, a bit like a sort of modern yacht.
Yeah.
Modern Sunseeker or something.
I wonder what it would be called.
I don't know.
Voyager.
Voyager, yes. There. Is that all right?
Brilliant. What do you think?
Yes, I'm rather pleased with this. Yeah. There.